Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a very, very, very special show. I've been hearing this for years. With the P.I.L.L method, all right, with the P.I.L.L method, we help people to understand how loans actually work. So I want to invite you this morning to this show. Welcome to P.I.L.L Method International. We are here to help you to understand how loans actually work. P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. We want you to understand how loans actually work, how they really work, and not listen to all the fluff and stuff on the internet from financial gurus or whoever else is speaking about these loans. Because right now, people are telling you on the internet, do not pay off your mortgage. If you search that, paying off a mortgage, you will see that it is economically the best thing to do is to keep your mortgage for 30 years and then take a look at what you could do with your money and invest it instead. Then what they're saying is take that money that you make from investing and then pay off your mortgage once you have received all of that money. Here's the thing. The math is, they're not telling you the whole story. So come on over to YouTube. If you're on Clubhouse, come on over to YouTube so that you can see and hear what we're talking about. So right now we're going to shut everything off on Clubhouse. See you on YouTube. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the story. Here is the story. I need you to understand how loans actually work. And this is going to be number one. If you are investing in your future, please don't stop. There's a certain amount of money. If you work with an investment counselor, and on next Sunday, we're going to have an investment counselor with us. So you don't want to miss that show. How to invest properly. You want to put the right amount of money and investing, and you want to also save as much interest as you possibly can on your loans. Stop giving the bank all of that money. It is ridiculous how much money we give them and we don't have to. So we want to learn a couple of terms today. Opportunity cost is one of them. Opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. So what we're going to do first is understand what these people are talking about not paying off a mortgage and then taking that money and putting it into some sort of investment and making compound interest over 30 years. And that is a definite thing. You should be making compound interest over your lifetime. Your money should be making babies. But any investment strategist will tell you putting all of your eggs in one basket doesn't make sense. Putting all of your eggs in one basket doesn't make sense. So here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to help you to understand how that works. Let's take a look at an amortization schedule right now. The average loan is what? $420,000 right now across the nation. Interest rates just climbed back over 7%. Okay, they just climbed back over 7%. So we're going to put this in at 7%. Okay, and now your payment is $2,794.27. This is what we're talking about. I need you to take a look at all the interest money it takes. Here's how expensive your loan is. And I want you to tell me, in the early days of investing, okay, this is number one. In the early days of investing, Here's what's going on with your interest money. Look how much money is going to interest. And what you're doing when you have a mortgage or any other loan, all right, that you're buying your equity. How you're paying your loan down is equity. This is potential equity. $344.27 pays down your loan in the first month. In the second month, $346.28. In the third month, $348.30. This is how you're paying down your loan. And this is what your bank or mortgage company is charging you each month. $2,450, $2,447, $2,445.97. All right. Listen, here's what I need for you to do. Start thinking about how much it costs to pay down your loan. This is a lot of money. In other words, somebody's asking you, all right, I know that we're not, there is no sound on Clubhouse because we want everybody to come over to YouTube. That's why. But thank you for being here on YouTube. Coffee Brown, listen, can you come into the studio? I'd love to talk to you this morning. The link is in the chat. And so you can come right into StreamYard and be on the show with us this morning, if at all possible. But thank you very much. So here's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. We want you to see how much it costs to manage your money. And in the first year, to pay down your loan by $4,266.41, it costs $29,264.83. $29,000 of your hard-earned dollars. You're being on this loan, you're going to be charged to pay down your loan by $4,266.41. So keep that in mind. Now, here's the other thing you want to keep in mind. To pay off a $420,000 loan in 30 years, it's going to cost $585,937.20. Here's what these people are saying on YouTube. If you take your extra money, and this part is right, what they're saying here is correct. They're just not telling you the whole story. If you take your discretionary funds and invest it at compound interest for 6, 7, 8%, you will make way more than the $585,000 you're going to pay on this mortgage. Do you get where they're coming from? If you can make, by investing, if you can make $2 or $3 million over 30 years, taking that money and paying this off. So what they're saying is, if it costs you $585,000 to have your mortgage, but you can take that money and invest it and make $2 or $3 million, that is the thing to do. But what we're saying is, what we're saying at the P.I.L.L method is, you're putting all of your eggs in that one basket. Okay, to make the $2 or $3 million. How would you like it if you could make even more? Wait a second. You mean, Don, I can make even more money? Yes, you can. You can make even more money. Listen, I got several people here on YouTube watching us online right now. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button while you're here. Also, I need you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please do that. Comment in the comment section and like our videos. Listen, do you know how much that helps us get this message out, that people really need to see this? Now, when it comes to making compound interest, I'm going to let those people tell you how that's done, because that part is absolutely true. So here's what I'm saying. Figure out, there is a thing called critical point analysis. Critical point analysis. when you want to find the right amount of money to put on your debt at any given time, but once you figure that out, then putting any more money in any basket doesn't give you it doesn't give you an increased benefit for the amount of money that extra money that you're putting in. It doesn't help that much more. You want to put the right amount at the right time. So let's take a look at what we're talking about here. I want to show you what it means to pay this loan off. So here's what the experts are telling you. This is a 7% loan. And if you pay it off, you're saving 7%. Well, that's not exactly true. They're looking at making maybe 10% compounded interest in the market versus 7% over here. 10% compounded interest versus 7% amortized interest. Here is what's going on, and you need to see this, okay? I don't want anybody to think you can't make money in the market, but please understand this part. When I am paying my mortgage like this and they're charging me like this, you need to take a look at this part very, very closely. If I make a payment here, my very first month, let's say I make it in January, $344.27 goes to principal, $24.50 goes to interest. If I look at my principal payment in the second month, it's $346.28. You know, if I give the bank that money in January as well, I'm making my regular mortgage payment in January, and then I'm going to give them the $346.28 also in January. I'm paid down to line 2 in January, and my next mortgage payment is on line 3. That's what happens. Now I'm going to put a calculator on the screen and show you this. If I prepay this, I skip over line 2 and I go directly to line 3. I do not pass go. I do not collect $200. Okay? I skip right over line 2 and I never have to pay this interest of $2,447.99. So what just happened? If I take the interest that I just saved, $2,447.99, and I divide it by what I prepaid to the loan. Okay, I prepaid $346.28. This is what I prepaid. And then I take that answer and multiply it by 100. This is how I figure ROI, return on investment. Right here, right now, that's a 706% return on your money. Ladies and gentlemen, there is not anyone on YouTube, on Facebook, in America that's telling you that you can get a guaranteed 700% return on your money anywhere. So here's what we're saying. Oh, Lord have mercy. Give me the right words this morning. Give me the right words so people can understand. You're missing out on a fantastic opportunity. Good morning, Yvette. It's so good to see you. You're missing out on such a good opportunity here if you don't understand what we're talking about. This is not a 7% loan. It says 7%, but it's not 7%. Can I break down what's really happening here so that you don't miss an opportunity to make some additional money? So here's what we're saying. If you understand what's going on here, here's what the bank really wants. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal. And Yvette is she is a mortgage loan originator, and so she knows this to be true. 3 days before you close on your loan, 3 days before you close on your loan, you're going to get papers in the mail. They're going to mail this to you, or they're going to email it to you. Okay? That here's some of the things you need to know about your loan before it closes. As of 2015, this became part of your loan package, and you had to know this. Not only do they have to tell you your interest rate, but they have to tell you total interest paid as a percentage of principal. And at 7%, that means 139.5%. You're going to pay back more interest than you borrowed in principal. This is not 7%, it's 139%. And let me tell you, it's not just one loan. This is 360 different mortgages, not one mortgage, 360 separate mortgages. The people on the internet that are telling you not to pay off your mortgage, they're not telling you this part. So, Don, what do you mean? This is what I mean. Let's put our calculator back on the screen, okay? Put our calculator back on the screen, and this is what's happening. All right? This is what's happening. You got $420,000 and you got a 7% loan. Okay? You got a 7% loan. So here's what we're doing. They're taking 7% and dividing it by 12. Okay? 7%. Oh, wait. That's 7. So we're going to take 7%, take 7, and then hit the percent key. It's 0.07. That's how you put it in as a decimal. 0.07. Now divide that by 12. Divided by 12. This is what you get. 0.0058 and a bunch of threes. Okay. This is the number that they use each month. Not the 7%, but this is the number that they're using each month. So here's what happens. When you do this each month, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to take this and then multiply it by your principal balance. So we're going to multiply this by $420,000 right there, $420,000, and that equals $2,450. Let's scroll down to the first interest payment. Look at this, $2,450. The rest of the money goes to principal. Okay. Now, when this goes to principal, you owe $419,655.73. Guess what? This is a brand new mortgage now. Yeah, you just changed the amortization schedule. This is a brand new mortgage. Your mortgage now is $419,655.73. That's the mortgage now. Yes, that's exactly right. This is the mortgage now. So what do? What does the bank do? Well, they're going to take that 7.07 again, divide it by 12 again, all right, and then multiply it by the 419,655.73. Okay, and this is how much interest you're going to pay in the next month. Okay, so let's multiply it by 419,655.73 equals $2,447.99. And look here, $2,447.99. Each month you have this loan becomes a brand new mortgage. So do you want a brand new mortgage for 360 months? That's what's happening here. Here is what the experts that are teaching you to take your money and put it all in investments and don't take a single dime to put towards your mortgage prepayment. Take all of that money and invest it. Here's what they're not telling you. If you prepay this loan, how much interest are you saving each time? They're not telling you that. You know why they're not telling you that? Because they don't teach you this in school. They don't teach this to real estate agents. They don't teach this to a mortgage loan originators. They don't teach this to accountants. They don't teach this to let's see, people who are certified investment counselors. They don't teach this to anybody anywhere. They don't. Even Yvette says they don't. Okay, they don't teach this. So if you don't know how much interest you can save by paying off your loan, then how can you do an honest comparison between paying off your mortgage early by saving interest and then, or just taking that money and investing it? Here's what I do know. Answer me this. If I invest $346.28, even at 10% interest, how long would it take me to make $2,447.99 with that money? Okay. Here's the other thing. Anytime you invest, there is a risk. True or not true? Anytime you invest, there is a risk. True or not true? All right. Wow. Watch this. If they're not telling you about the risk. Here's the other thing. When you make money in investing, and listen, I'm not saying you won't, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. You should invest, because next Sunday, we're going to have a show all about investing, but investing the right way. Okay, that's next Sunday. Coach Coffee Brown says, listen, all right, what you need to know is this. They're not telling you how much you're saving when you prepay. They're not telling you what your benefit is from prepaying. All they're talking about is what you make when you invest, and that's true. And they're comparing it, what you make when you invest, they're comparing it with this $585,000. That's what they're comparing it with. Okay? But that's not all you need to make the comparison. So I'm going to, I got to pull up some other information, get prepared for this. And you need to see this. Okay. And then we're going to break down how all of this comes together. Okay. We're going to break it down for you, how it all comes together. I'm going to show you, some examples here. All right. Show you some examples. And we're going to put these examples right on the screen. All right, so let me open this up. Okay, here we go. I want to show you something that most people are totally unaware of. There we go. Let's pull this over. You need to know this. Uh-oh. That wasn't supposed to be there. Okay, that wasn't supposed to be there. Let me make sure I've got the right examples here. There we go. All right. So here we are. Look at this. This is just $98,000 in debt. This is just $98,000 in debt. The bank wants $40,000 in interest on this loan. We're going to show this client how they can only pay $16,000. Take the money that they're not paying in interest and turn it into another $330,000, along with what they're investing already. They're putting their money in some sort of investment already. So we're not saying don't do that. Please do that. But make sure you keep this in mind. The $23,000 extra dollars that they don't have to pay to the mortgage company or to their loans. If they pay this extra interest, they can't also invest it. Uh-oh, here we go. If you pay this, you can't also invest it. What I'm saying is we can be out of debt in 8.3 years, take the money we're no longer giving to the bank and turn it into $330,000. And that's just off of $98,000 in debt. Well, what could we do if we had $630,000 in debt? Instead of $320,000 in interest, let's just pay the bank $80,000 in interest. Now, all the while we are doing this, we're figuring out what is the right amount of money to put towards the mortgage and the right amount of money to put towards investing. Can I tell you a little story? And this is going to go with this perfectly. I've told it before, but you need to hear it again. Client right here in Huntsville, Alabama, making a lot more money now than they did when they first started on our program. All right. And let me see here. Do I have some people in? Oh, let's bring Coffee Brown in. I'm sorry. Let me know when we have some folks on stage. Coffee, come on in. Let's bring her on stage. Miss Coffee, how are you this morning?
I'm amazing, Don. I'm in transit, so I don't have my camera on. I don't want to crash anything. I'm excited to be in the building. Don, how you do? Listen, I got you live on my social media for my community to tap in.
Come on.
You cannot let these people go without knowing this. Good morning, champion. How are you?
I am doing so well. Coffee Brown, where are you? Where are you in the world?
I am in Texas currently, getting ready to fly out to Atlanta to get some work done for these children. Got to add value to the children, Don. I'm super excited to be here with you, though. Guys, listen, y'all got to get connected to Don. He's fantastic, doing some amazing things. I really, really encourage you, everybody in my community, come connect with Don. Get on YouTube, his YouTube channel. Get this information. It is life transformative. It's going to release you to be able to live the life that you truly desire and get you out of debt. Can you imagine having your home paid off in 7 years? It's unprecedented. The idea of it drives me nuts. So I'm super excited, Don. Thank you for all that you do, Don.
Well, listen, thank you so very much for being here, Coffee. And you listen, hang out as long as you possibly can. And if you have something to say about what we're talking about, please chime in. But folks, listen, I want you to understand this so very well. And please don't let people take isolated clips out of here and say that I'm saying something that I'm not saying. I am not saying don't invest. I think you should invest. Find the right amount to put towards investment, but also take the right amount to save interest. You don't pay off a loan to pay off a loan. Okay. We're not paying off the loan fast here at the P.I.L.L method. We're paying off cheaper, more efficiently. This is a total waste of money to give the bank $320,000 in interest they don't need when I can pay them $80,000 in interest. So if I pay them $80,000 in interest, guess what? Guess what my effective interest rate is? It is 0.75. I am now borrowing the money at 0.75%. That's the effective interest rate. That's the interest rate I would have to have if I paid $80,000 on these loans instead of $320,000. That's a $240,000 savings. So if I give that $240,000 to the bank, I can also invest that $240,000. That's what opportunity cost means. Here's what I'm doing. I'm using $240,000 extra dollars to buy my house. Okay? So if I do that, I can also invest that money. But if I have a balanced plan of investing and saving money and interest on my loan, I can make the $2 or $3 million of that of that these people on the YouTube are talking about. Plus, I can take that money, I'm no longer giving it to the bank, and make $2,617,681. Okay? Now, they're investing their money. I'm going to show you how powerful compound interest is when you take into account opportunity cost calculations. They're saying, take that money you would pay down your mortgage faster or put towards principal on your mortgage and invest that money and turn it into $2-3 million. I'm saying do that. Take money and put it into your investment and make the $2 or $3 million, whatever they're talking about. But also take some of your money and do this so that you can make $2.6 million. And here's the key to this part. Ladies and gentlemen, this is at 1% on your money. What? If you take the money you're no longer giving to the bank, and this is what we're predicting here. If you take that money and put it in an investment where you can make compound interest, it'll turn it into $2.6 million at 1%. Would you like to see how this transpires? How much money you would like to make? Listen, put a number 9 in the chat if you'd like to see year by year investing that money you're no longer giving to the bank, how much it becomes. All right, how much it becomes if you invest that money and not give it to the bank. Can I show you? Put a number 9 in the chat if you want to see it. Oh, but here they come. Here they come. Here come the number 9s. Okay, here they come. All right. I see 2. Do I see? Oh, I see Kim. Thank you very much, Kim, watching us on YouTube this morning. Okay, watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. Here's what the experts, the investment experts or so-called experts, that they're saying you should pay off your debt like this. Every single month, give the bank this money, pay them like this, all in the red, and it takes you 30 years, almost 30 years to pay this thing off. Okay? Now, but they're saying take that money and turn it into $2 or $3 million. What I'm saying is take a portion of your funds. This is not all the funds, your discretionary funds. This is just a portion of the funds. Let me show you something here. Okay? Just a portion of the funds. We could do this, and look here. We're going to pay this down, pay it 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 down. And now in the first year, okay? Now you don't have to wait to do this investing. This just makes it simple. In the first year, you're done with your paying off this mortgage. All right, look at here. You could have $113,000 in the bank by investing the money you're no longer giving to the bank. The next year after that, $227,000. The next year after that, $342,000. Look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at there. 8 years of investing that money you're no longer giving to the bank. We can turn that into $937,000. And we're talking about a 1% return on your money, a 1% return on your money. By the time you would have paid this, by the time most people are ignoring their mortgage and paying off for 30 years, they will have nothing from the mortgage. They would have given the bank all the interest that they wanted, but they've taken their extra money and made $2 or $3 million by investing. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but also keep this in mind, the risk factor in investing. And also, you don't make $2 or $3 million because you have to pay taxes on that. Oh, yeah. You have to pay taxes on that money. Don't forget that. That has to be subtracted. But when
Don, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
come on,
Don,
come.
are you saying that the money that we are paying to the bank, we can not only save that money, but shift that money into little money babies? Is that what you're telling us?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Don, please elaborate more on that, because I don't think the people in the back of the church heard you.
Oh, listen. Let's break it down for the people in the back of the church. Let me do it like this. Okay. When this is money is guaranteed. This is money that's guaranteed. All right. And the amounts are guaranteed. If I make every single payment here on time, I'm giving the bank all of this money in interest, all of this money, all of this money, all of this money, all of this money. If I make my regular mortgage payment here and I just give them about $1,000 extra, 346, 348, and 350, I'm going to invest $1,000 extra of my money into this mortgage coffee. I save this interest, this one, and this one. Okay, that's 2, 4, 6, and we're talking about $7,000 in interest saved. Over $7,000 in interest saved by investing $1,000. Okay, so let me show you this. This is guaranteed. If I invest this into my mortgage, pay it early, here's how much interest I've just saved. Now, right now, I'm looking at, do you know, if you're watching the news, especially the financial news, okay, AI is going crazy. Everybody's going crazy over artificial intelligence. Everybody's going crazy over it. And more companies are investing in it. There are companies that are laying off people right now, not because they're in financial trouble. It's because they want to increase their profits so they can invest more money into AI. Watch this now. I need you to start paying attention to this. Okay? So you can increase profits by charging more, or you can increase profits by lowering your expenses. Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening here is you are lowering your expenses to borrow money. You're borrowing money at a discount when you do this. So when I prepay this, I save this, and that is a 700% return on my money. That is guaranteed. It cannot be taken away from you. Okay, let me show you the math on that one more time. Let me show you the math
Come
on
on,
that.
Don. Come on, Don. Listen, Don. Listen, we have you live on LinkedIn now.
Uh-oh.
I said, let me get him on LinkedIn. These business people need to hear what he's saying this morning. So you're live on Facebook and now you're on LinkedIn. We got to get you the exposure. Listen, guys, if you have not subscribed to Don's YouTube channel, go ahead and do that now. You need to hear this information. You need to get it in your reticular activation system so you can manifest. I'm serious. This is beyond important, Don. It's beyond important. It's not only life transformative, but just think about how much money you can be investing through what you're saving in mortgage interest payment. This is crazy. Don, I'm going back on mute. I can't take it. I'm going back on mute.
Okay, coffee. So if you choose, okay, this is what we don't know about mortgages, folks. When you choose when to give the bank money, you save a ton of interest. And these experts, so-called experts, aren't giving you this data. They're only telling you half the story, and that is the problem. So if you take a look at cumulative interest here and cumulative principal rather, and cumulative interest here, this adds it all up for you so you can actually see what we're talking about. If I pay my mortgage down like the bank wants me to, and I pay them $4,266.41 to pay down my mortgage, it costs me $29,000 in interest to do that. Yeah. Yeah. So what if I take this money? Now, remember, I'm still investing every month. I'm still growing my investments over here, but I'm not going to discount. I'm not going to discredit my mortgage. I'm not going to ignore my mortgage over here. So I'm going to ask you a question. This $4,266.41, if I add it all up, all these principal payments add up to this. So if I already know that I'm going to pay my mortgage down by $4,266, if I already know that, do I have to pay it to the bank on their schedule every single month? Or could I choose my own schedule and give the bank that money? What if I paid my mortgage on line one and give the bank this $4,266.41? What if I give them that? What if I give them that in the first month as well? Look what happens. I skip all these interest payments. Boom, 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 boom. Except the first one. Okay. Skip all these interest payments. Boom. If I prepay this, I'm paid down to right here in 1 month. Don, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. That can't work. That can't work. Remember, our loan started out at $420,000. Okay. So we're going to put $420,000 in the calculator, 420,000, and we're going to subtract 4,266.41. Okay, 4,266.41 in the first month, not over 12 months, but in 1 month, it comes to 415,733.59. That's exactly what's here. So you're telling me, Don, I can pay this down in 1 month instead of over 12. That is exactly right. So here's what happens, folks. They charge me interest on the $420,000. Okay. The next time they can charge me interest is on the $415,000. And that puts me on line 13. What? If I give them all this money on 1 month, they charge me interest on the $420,000 the very first month. And then the second time they get to charge me interest is on this amount, which puts me here. Right there. Right there, everybody. Right there, everybody. So what just happened here? What just happened? When I do that, I saved $29,000 in interest. So 29,264.83 divided by 4,266.41. Now I'm taking just a little bit of shortcut, okay? For when I'm giving these examples, okay? Instead of this one, I should be putting in this number, but I want to make it easy. It's going to be just about this much. So you're saving around $26,837. But if I do it straight across, it just makes it easier for people to see. Besides, it's only going to be a slight change in the amount of interest, your ROI. So this is why I'm using this number for all the people who are going to come back later and write letters and saying, Don, you're not saving 29,000, it's actually 26,837. So what? It's $26,000. Okay. All right. So here's your answer. Okay. So we're going to take the 29,264.83 and divide it by the 4,266.41, and then multiply that by 100, 685, well, 686% return on your money. 686% return on your money. Okay, Barry here. What is Barry saying? What is Barry? Barry, good morning to you. Barry says, using the program, he loves it. okay, Barry's on the program, says, I'll pay off my mortgage in 6.4 years. Can't wait to announce it. Thank you very much, Barry. Thank you for letting people know. And then now you're going to take that interest that you're saving and you're going to invest it. Listen, folks, there's nobody on the internet. There's nobody on the internet. There's nobody anywhere that's going to tell you how you can invest $4,266.41 and instantly get a 685.935% return on your money that you do not have to pay taxes on. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it, Don.
Whew. And then your next mortgage payment is here. Now, again, you're still investing on the other side. When you don't know how much interest you're saving by prepaying, then what they're talking about on the internet sounds like it's a good idea. But you're losing opportunities to make millions of dollars more. They're telling you how to make a few million. I'm telling you how to make a few million more. By doing a balanced approach, saving money in interest and making money in interest by investing the right amount of money. Now, how can you know what is the right amount of money to put in each? So in each bucket, paying off my mortgage, saving money and interest on my mortgage and other debt, and then taking some of my discretionary income and putting it towards investment, making 6 to 10% compounded interest over the next 30 years, which is a huge amount of money. Okay. And I'm not discounting that. But again, there's risk involved and there are taxes involved. So they're not telling that part of the story either. They're not. Okay. But there's no risk here. There's absolutely no risk here. Okay. Here's what's going to happen if I do it the bank's way. To pay my mortgage down, it's going to cost me $29,000 to pay my mortgage down to here. Okay. That is a fact if I keep this loan. It's also a fact if I pay my mortgage down to here in 1 month, I don't have to give them the $29,000. Okay. I only have to give them $2,450 in interest to pay my mortgage down to here if I give them this money in 1 month. That is also a fact that cannot be refuted. This cannot be taken away from you. So if I have a client right here in Huntsville, Alabama, that's paying, all right, that's making more money now, and he comes to me and tells me by putting information in our program, okay, putting information in our program, he is now going to be able to pay off his mortgage in the last $263,000 he owes on this mortgage. He will now be able to pay it off in 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And he's only going to pay $16,000 in interest. So he's putting, at this point, I'm saying, why would you do that? You're paying off the mortgage too fast and you're not paying enough interest. He says, well, Don, I thought that was the idea. He says, well, tell the program you're paying $2,000 less. Tell the program you're $2,000 less. And which program am I talking about? I'm talking about this program. Okay, let's put this on here. Let's put this on here. Okay, here's your program. All right. I'm talking about this program right here, the opportunity cost calculator, because it tells you how much interest you have remaining. All right. So when he clicked on this button, he saw $16,000 here and he was so happy, and he's going to pay off his mortgage in 6.3 years. And it shows up in this window here. He's going to pay it off in, 3.5 years, 3.5 years. So I said, tell the program you're making $2,000 a month less. So he goes into the program, tells him making $2,000 a month less. And guess what happens? Now he's going to be out of debt. The program recalculates and says, now you're going to be out of debt in 6.5 years, not 3.5. Now you're going to pay $20,000 interest instead of $16,000 in interest. He says, Don, why would I do that? It's costing me more and it's taking me longer. I said, well, it sounds like you want to be out of debt in 3.5 years. He says, yes, I do. Then I said, what would you have to do? He says, I'd have to tell the program I had to put my $2,000 a month back into the program. I said, for 3.5 years? He said, yes, and I'll be done. I said, well, that's $2,000 a month. Okay, 3 years is 36 months. A half year is another 6 months. That's 42 months altogether. 42 months times $2,000 a month. 42 months times $2,000 a month. That's $84,000. Okay, let me show you $2,000 a month times 36 times plus 6, 42 months times 42, $84,000. So he's got to put $84,000, sink that into his debt, paying off the debt, so he can go from $20,000 in interest paid down to $16,000. $84,000 into his mortgage is going to save him an additional $4,000 in interest. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to ask him. I said, is that how you want to spend your money? He says, well, now that you put it that way, no. So we can get hyper-focused, ladies and gentlemen, in the wrong areas and miss a lot of stuff that's going on around us. Okay? You can miss it by not knowing everything that you need to know about this. This is why it's important to have an opportunity cost calculator. And this is why it's important to have a coach to help you, to have support, to help you, to remind you of the variables, not even to remind you, to teach you the variables that have been left out of our financial education for our entire lives. What I'm talking about is we don't get this anywhere else. So instead of putting that $2,000 a month into his debt reduction, he knows the right amount to put towards his mortgage, and he's going to take that $2,000 a month and put it elsewhere and start and invest it. So if our program can tell you the right amount of money to put towards your debt reduction, we can also take a look at the extra money that you're making that we're not going to put towards debt reduction and put it towards wealth creation. And listen here, folks, you can go into our reports here. Look at this, into our reports on the program. Okay, this is John and Rebecca Jones. And we can go into, we can click on what it says net worth. Okay, now they're supposed to be out of debt in 30 years, but they're actually going to be out of debt in 3.5. Let's take a look at wealth accumulation.
Wait a minute. I just saw something on that projection.
Yes.
About credit cards and other debts. Can we talk about that real quickly? Because I think people don't realize that they can get out of debt in every area based on your program.
Okay. I think let's do that. Let me finish this up and then I'll go back to that. Okay. So wealth accumulation. So in our program, he can see that, I'm supposed to be out of debt 30 years from now. Okay. That would be what? 2054? 2054. Okay. 2054. That's when he'd be out of debt. Okay. But he could actually be out of debt in 2029. I need to show you what could happen by the time he could be out of debt they could be out of debt in 2054. 2054. All right. I'm out of debt. So I'm going to start investing that money at 1% return on my money. Just 1%. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In just 10 years, that money would be worth $587,000. And by 2054, okay, by paying off his mortgage, just by paying off the mortgage, he would have no money in this pot. But by using the program and saving the interest, by 2054, he could have an additional $1,661,744, and that is at 1% interest on his money, compounded. So he could take that money. What if he was making 6% on average or 7%? Do you see now? Do you see now how much money we're leaving on the table when we give all of our money to the bank and we don't have to give it to them? It's crazy money. We're talking here. Listen, I'm not going to do all the math on that, because what we do here at the P.I.L.L method, okay, we under promise, but we over deliver. We under promise so we can over deliver. I'll never talk about an interest rate on your money more than 1%. This is at 1% return on your money. Let the other experts tell you what you could do with that money and make more than 1% on it. Okay? So if you did that, this $1,600,000 is a lot more. But you'll never hear me talk about that, because we under promise so we can over deliver. So Coffee was talking about let's go into the accounts and see what we're paying off here. Okay. Here's all of our loans in here. We've got, let me see here. We've got an auto loan. We're going to pay that off early. We've got IRS debt. We're going to pay that off early. We've got MasterCard. We're going to pay that off early. And we've got a mortgage, and we're going to pay that off early. Okay. Boom. So we can, and the reason how we can pay it off early, ladies and gentlemen, is this: the $224,881 in interest you're not going to pay in interest. So, do you want to know more about how you can pay off your debt in a strategic way and then take those funds and increase your investments? Not just make more money, but make even more money? Would you like to know how you can do that? Well, let me tell you about a friend of mine. His name is E.T., the hip hop preacher, Eric Thomas. Let's hear a word from Eric Thomas, okay? The number one motivational speaker in the entire planet. Let's hear what he has to say about this, and then I'll tell you how you can do this for yourself. Play it.
It's not playing, Don.
It's not. Where's Eric Thomas?
It's not playing.
Uh-oh. It's not playing?
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about this, okay, if you want to know more about this, you need to go to ice10k.com. ice10k.com. All right, ice10k.com. And when you go there, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to put it on the screen for you as soon as I get this off of here. All right. So we're going to bring us up, go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and scroll down under Eric Thomas's picture. Scroll down and click on Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Get a savings and earnings report. A savings and earnings report, once you receive it, will look like this. Okay? Let me bring that back. Where did it go? Uh-oh. We lost it. Okay, I need to bring this back so you guys can see it. Uh-oh. Okay, well, anyway, I'll bring it back later. Okay, so, oh, here it is. Boom. You're going to get one of these. Okay, you're going to get something that looks, you're going to get one of these. Okay, and how much will you pay for it? It says, get your what? Your free savings report. It's a savings and earnings report because not only will we tell you how much interest you'll save, we're going to tell you your potential earnings on that interest as well. And it's going to look like this. You're going to get something that says, here's how much interest you save and your potential earnings by not giving it to the bank. You're going to get that. So if you want to know how this works, now also, when you work with one of our coaches, we're going to help you to determine the right amount of money to put towards your debt so that you're maximizing interest savings per dollar. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. That's the last thing we need to talk about, your interest savings per dollar. So get this, get it today. All right. Go to ice10k.com and click on the link that says get a savings and earnings report. This is in 2 steps. Follow the directions. Okay. And once you follow all the directions, you'll be ready to go. You'll be able to get your report, and then we can go over that report with you. Our team will go over that report with you, make sure it's correct, and maybe, just maybe, you will want to get a consultation and see how you can implement the things in the report so that you can get your own opportunity cost calculator. Hello, hemp hand soap. How are you doing this morning? Okay. So, do you see what we're talking about here? Do you want to do what ET said? Do you want to do what thousands of other people have said that are talking about? They have paid off their debt and taken that money and invested it instead. We're not talking about just getting out of debt, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the millions of dollars. Average W-2 wage earners are leaving on the table by not leveraging the interest they could save on their debts. There it is. Come on. There it is. That's what we're talking about today. So let's talk about what I mean. Let's talk about what I mean by, before we do that. Okay. I have a book. All right. You click on that link and you can bring up my book. So we're going to put the book on the screen, and this book is the only book on Amazon. The only book on Amazon that talks about what we're talking about here, that gives you a different mindset about your money. It's not a how-to book. Please don't get it for that. It's not a how-to book, but it is a mindset shifting book so that you can understand what we haven't been told for years on what we need. It gives you the tools you need to get out of debt. It just doesn't give you the steps to take. Okay? Because when you take a look at what needs to be done to beat the bank at their own game, it takes millions of calculations to optimize your interest savings. Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about when I say optimize your interest savings. Let me show you what we're talking about here. If I take this and put this on the screen here. All right. This is something you definitely need to know. If I prepay this money, I don't pay this. So I can know exactly how much interest I'm saving per dollar. Yeah, I can know how much interest I'm saving per dollar by putting that on the screen. So if I put this on the screen here, all right, but take my calculator. How much am I saving per dollar? I'm saving $2,447.99 that I don't have to pay. Okay, that's what I'm doing that. I'm dividing it by 346.28 equals $7.06. Well, $7.07. What does that mean? For every dollar I put on this mortgage at this point, for every dollar, I'm saving $7.06, $7.07. Do you know how powerful that is? If you want to be like Coffee and come on the show, come on the show. Coffee, what do you think about that? She may be busy by now.
Listen, I'm here for it all today. I was like, you know what? I'm just, everybody else gonna have to wait today because this right here, Don, first of all, thank you for having me. And secondly, I just appreciate everything that you're doing and the tremendous value that it's adding. I'm getting ready to do some things, and I've got to take full advantage of making certain that everybody in my community knows about this. So we put you everywhere that we are. People will be able to see this replay, tap in. I'm telling people to get on here and watch this so that they can learn. It's important that we know this, and listen, at the point that you know the information, you've got to apply it because you can't say you're ignorant about it anymore. We now know that we can change our financial portfolio through making some adjustments and getting free. We don't have to live 30 years with a more, man, come on. Don, thank you. That's all I can say is just thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. This is beyond incredible. I'm super proud to be connected with you, and I just can't keep singing your praises enough. But I'm grateful to God for you and all that you do and your consistency in making sure that we win in our finances. So I'm giving it back to you, Don.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Let me show you a couple of instances where you want to know the right amount to put on your debt. It doesn't work exactly like this, but this will give you a good example. Okay. So if I can prepay $4,266 and save 29 grand. Ooh, do you know I know people who have money in the bank? $8,841.25 prepaid knocks 2 years off this mortgage. Paid one time knocks 2 years off this mortgage and look, saves $58,000 in interest. So if you had a choice between line 12 and line 24 on your amortization schedule, which one would you choose? I want to show you how important it is to understand optimized. Okay, here's another word for you. Optimized interest savings. How much interest am I killing per dollar? And that is important, especially when I've got to go get gas today, because I'm going to look up on my gas buddy and say, who's giving me the best deal on gas on my way home? Okay. So is it BJ's? Is it Costco? Is it Walmart? I mean, where am I going to get my gas? Okay. Is it Shell? Who's got the best price per gallon? I want to make sure my dollar buys as much gas as it possibly can. We pay more attention to the penny we would save on going from one gas station to another, 1 penny, than we do on our mortgages and other debt, because we've never been taught. It's not your fault. We've never been taught. We didn't know it was important. Let me show you this, and then I want to talk about tomorrow's show. Sunday's show. And you don't want to miss this Sunday's show. Okay, watch this. So we're going to do 2 examples here. We're going to take our interest savings, $29,264, 0.83 divided by 4266.41 equals $6.86. $6.86. That's how much we're saving here if we prepay this per dollar. $6.86 per dollar. If I only put $1 extra on this mortgage, I know at this point, I know I'm saving $6.86 for that dollar. I make it impossible for the bank to charge me $6. Listen, folks, that's almost a 7-to-1 return on $1. That is amazing. But $6.86. Where's my pen? Did I drop my pen? Doggone, I dropped my pen. Okay, let's write that. Oh, here it is. Here it is. $6.86. $6.86. So now we're going to do line 24, which would knock off 2 years. If I can take a little bit of money that I've saved in the bank, put it on this mortgage, $8,800, $8,841.25, knock off 2 years worth of payments. Okay. If I make this payment on line 1, my next mortgage payment will be line 25 on my amortization schedule. Okay. Boom. They only get to charge me interest twice. But I save $58,000 in interest right away. So watch this. So we're going to take that. We're going to put that on the screen. Take our 58,000. Oops, wrong number. Okay. 58,000. 221, $221.23. Boom. And we're going to divide it by 2 years worth of principal payments. 8,841.25 equals, oh man, I did it wrong. Come on, somebody help me, okay? 58,221.23, okay? And we want to divide it by 8,841.25 equals $6.59. One gives us $6.86 per dollar. This one gives us $6.56 per dollar. You see, there is a certain point in anyone's finances. Keep this very clear. There's a certain point in anyone's finances. This is called opportunity cost calculations. Opportunity cost calculations. Critical point analysis. This is called critical point analysis. Finding that critical point. Okay. There's a certain point at which more becomes too much. In any given situation, the amount of money that you have to work with, there's a certain point where you're going to save the most per dollar. Putting any more money in at that point, you save less interest per dollar. Your dollar does not work as hard anymore. And I'm telling you, that's the law of diminished return. It is alive and well in everything that you do. Okay. I know some people who love jerk chicken, but too much jerk seasoning ruins the chicken. I know people who love collard greens, but have you ever had collard greens that were too salty? Okay. Too much salt ruins the greens. Too much money going to any one spot in your finances at the wrong time doesn't give you the best outcomes. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want you to know. Here's what I want to know. Do you want to save some money? Or do you want to save the maximum amount of money that's mathematically possible for you? In addition to that, do you want to make some money or a lot of money? Or do you want to make the most money your finances can make for you? Do you want to make the most and save the most at the same time? It takes AI to do that, artificial intelligence to do that. And our program is the only artificially intelligent program on the planet that does this for you. The only one. Oh my goodness. We want to make sure that you get the information that you're looking for. Can I share with you what we're talking about tomorrow? Oh my goodness. If you can't be here, if you can't be here for tomorrow's show, Sunday show live at 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Here's what we're going to be talking about on Sunday show. And we're bringing in automobile expert who used to own a dealership. And we're going to expose the dealership scams so that you can walk into we're going to give you enough information. You can walk into your dealership and not listen. You thought it was a horrific experience to go buy a new car at a dealership. We're going to teach you on Sunday how you can go into a dealership and walk out with a new car with the best deal possible. Okay. Can we put that back up there? Let's put it back up there.
Come on, Don. Come on.
Auto dealership scams. Do you see these people in the lower right-hand corner getting their keys to their car because they negotiated the best price? We're going to go over that. How you can go into a dealership and get the best price and watch out for what they try to do at the end of buying the car when they try to tack on all this other stuff. Oh my gosh. We're going to have an expert in the building on Sunday spilling all the tea, giving all the sauce so that you can know what's going on behind the scenes. So when that car salesperson tells you, well, wait, I got to go talk to my manager. You can tell them, listen, you don't have to go talk to your manager. I know the drill. I know exactly what you're getting ready to do. I came in here armed for bear. I know how much you paid for the car. I know how much you want to get for the car. I know how much and I know how much I want to pay for the car. And I know you can sell me the car for this number. All right. And we're going to teach you all the negotiating skills and be ready to walk out of the building because you're going to know what to do. Not only that, people, can I share with you something? Some of you, even though you know, we're going to teach you these skills on Sunday, but it's just one time. We're just going to be here for an hour and a half on Sunday. But what if you don't catch it all? Did you know if you are a P.I.L.L method client, I want you to hear this. One of the services that we provide is that we will negotiate your new car price for you. Did you hear me? You could have us on three-way phone, sitting in your dealership, and someone who knows how to talk to these people and get the price you want. That's part of the service that we provide. Yeah. Listen, we had a situation where we had a client here in Huntsville buying a luxury SUV. Okay. And I think it was it a Mercedes? Yeah, I think it was a Mercedes. Or was it a Beamer? I can't. It was one of the two, but it was an SUV. It was a Mercedes or a Beamer. All right. And then they were telling the price is the price. We don't negotiate. This is the price that we sell these cars for, and there's no negotiation. So try as he might, he told me, and then he called me. He remembered that he's a client of ours, and he remembered we offered this service. Okay. We had somebody fly into Huntsville. Are you hearing me? The P.I.L.L method had their person fly into Huntsville, sit down in the dealership, and negotiate the price of that car, and took off about $10,000 before it was all done. Somebody who said the price is the price and we don't negotiate. They knew what to say at the right time and when to say it and what evidence to produce that what you're telling my client here is bogus. And we got it down to MSRP. That's yes, ma'am, right over MSRP. Don't let these people run you. We're going to put that on. We're going to be talking about that on Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed today's show? Listen, do you think it is necessary? Don't you think it's necessary for people to know how much interest they can make? Do you think it's necessary for people to know that they can get a 600% and 700% return on their money when we got people on the internet? We got people on the internet. Let me listen. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Let me put this on the screen. The last thing that I put on, we're going to go to YouTube. We're going to go to YouTube. Okay. Oh, that's my channel, YouTube channel. Make sure you sign up for that. Okay. And we're going to search. Okay. All right. Never pay off mortgage. Never pay off your house. Here it is. Never pay off your house. Okay. Look here. 3 reasons to never pay off your house. And they're going to tell you, don't pay off your house. Okay. Let me see what else. Okay. Let's see. So this person found out that that's not the right thing to do. I stopped investing and paid off my mortgage. They can tell you what happened. Okay. Invest in stocks. Which one is better? Invest in stocks. Here's what, look at that picture. Invest in stocks, pay off your mortgage. Which one is better? Here's what we say at the P.I.L.L method. It's not either or. It's a both and. Invest in your future and save interest on the mortgage. It's both. It's not either or. Oh my gosh. Lord help us. So what do you got to say about that coffee in our last few minutes?
You know what, Don? I love you. That's all I got to say. You are the man with the master plan, and we're just happy to be present with you. That's all.
Tell the folks what you do in these final minutes.
I am an international best-selling publishing firm where we specialize in making certain that people get the thought out of their mind onto that paper and into publication. We must have published bodies of work, guys. We work with entrepreneurs, collaborators, and creatives to make certain that they have a published body of work. You heard Don talk about his published body of work and the impact that it's making, and you saw the Google reviews. Come on. Come on. Reviews. It's so important that you do that for yourself and your family. I also do several other things, but if you want to know more about me, just connect with me directly. You can see my information on the screen, and we're live on all of our platforms to support Don in his quest to change and transform not your life and mine only, but millions of lives with this powerful, powerful platform. Don, I yield back to you.
So, Coffee, can you see where the private chat is? Can you put your link in there so we can put it on our put it out there for the folks?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's put it in the private chat, and we'll take care of you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done for. When I do this show, I just get kind of worn out and I get tired, because I need people to know what's really going on here. I wish I could tell you everything that's going on here, but it can only scratch the surface. But I hope that we've given you enough information to see that people aren't telling you the whole story when they do these. This one is 10 minutes long. This one is 12 minutes long. This one is 24 minutes long. This one is 15 minutes long. Listen, the reason why, because they're regurgitating something that they have been told. They have not really done the math themselves, so they can only regurgitate as much. If you ask me questions about this subject, I can talk for days. Okay? Because we've been studying it for the last 18 years. And it takes an hour. It takes an hour and a half to show you the numbers to prove it to you. So here's what I need you to know. Here's the last thing we're going to tell you today. When people start telling you things like this, make them show you the numbers. Make them show you the math. At the P.I.L.L method, we show you the math. When you become our client, we're going to be able to do this for you. We're going to let me pull this back over. Let me pull it back over here. Come on. I'm trying to get what is going on here? It won't pull over. Doggone it. I'm trying to get my, let me see here. There we go. Is it ready now? Nope, I can't pull back over. I wanted to show you when you get your savings and earnings report, I wanted to show you how that is actually, get your savings and earnings report. Go to ice10k.com and get your savings and earnings report. Know for yourself that we actually will show you the numbers. And when we give you those numbers, here's the last thing you want to know about this. When we give you the numbers, we will guarantee your results for life. Our program is a lifetime program, and we will guarantee that you will receive those results when you follow our program. And if you don't get the results, then anything that you've paid us, we have to pay back to you, and we put it in writing. 100% money back guarantee for life. Well, Don, if I'm paying off my mortgage in 7 years, why do I need a lifetime guarantee? Why? Here's why. Oh, Lord. Because you pay off this house, you're going to be able to pay off another house. We have to guarantee that second house. We have to guarantee the third house. We have to guarantee your results on the fourth and the fifth house. We have to guarantee your results for whatever debt you put in this program. We have to guarantee your results for life. Learn how to borrow money at a discount. If you can borrow money at less than 1%, there is absolutely no reason for you to be paying cash. Your money should be making babies. And on the screen, we have the button right there. Get your savings and earnings report today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Coffee Brown, thank you so very much. And folks, don't forget to be here on Sunday. And we're going to end the show with my little video that we put together. See you on Sunday. Listen, happy Sabbath to all of you that apply. All right. I'll be in church tomorrow. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye. How many want to know how to pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years? You can do all of this without refinancing, without change to your budget, without sacrificing lifestyle.
Me and my husband do the P.I.L.L method, and last year we were able to pay down $33,000 on our mortgage without feeling like we were poor. We still did tons of entertaining things and enjoyed our family.
You don't have to eat beans and rice every day. You don't have to cut up your credit cards. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to sell pizzas at night to pay off your mortgage. All you need to do is pay the bank less interest. That's what we're talking about today. Here is what P.I.L.L method stands for: prepayment of principal, isolation of principal amounts, leverage, and liquidity. You understand it? You have a way of getting out of debt more efficiently. The interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. You think you're buying a $500,000 home. The true cost of that home is what? $758,000. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 51.777%. That's what's going on with this loan. The ability to read and defeat an amortization schedule is not taught at any level of financial education. I need you to understand the power of a penny. You will not hear what I'm talking about from Dave Ramsey. Do you know why? Because I own the copyright. I literally wrote the book.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.